Alright, I think it's time we talk about one of the best, the weirdest, the strangest Doom WODs I have ever played. This one I found online, and it is very difficult to find. It seems like maybe it's run into some problems where the creator doesn't want it posted anymore, or maybe they ran into some issues because obviously SpongeBob doesn't want to be associated with Doom, but here we are. Quick trigger warning, there is some stuff in here about drugs, there is obviously some stuff about shooting, some violence, and I believe someone at some point mentioned suicide, so fair trigger warning on this one. It is a strange combination, in no world do you think Doom and SpongeBob would work well together, and yet here we are. It's absolutely brilliant in so many ways, and honestly, like the biggest thing is when you're playing a Doom WOD, you want to play like Doom, right? Like, there's plenty of joke WODs out there, joke maps that are funny for 5 seconds, and that's it. This is not one of those. It honestly plays really well. There's secrets, there's twists and turns, there's a good variety of enemies, the music is nice, and it plays nice. Like, that's the most important thing, even if you're making a joke map, is to still have at least some semblance of Doom in there, and they do this so right. So as you can see, they reskinned all the zombie gunners into fish cops. You'll see some lost souls flying away that are jellyfish, and it is absolutely perfect, absolutely brilliant. These reskinnings look great, they play great. I do have a little frustration with, you can see I'm using, I think, my pistol here with the bubbles. It is a little hard to see if you're making contact. They do have like a hit box, you can see a little hit marker happening. It does get a little hard with some of the guns to see that you're making a hit, but that's a very minor complaint, and they're trying to keep, to the theme that they've made here. Look at how beautiful this environment looks. It looks like you're in an episode of SpongeBob. The skybox, the sand, the buildings, everything is just very, very well done here. The sound is also quite excellent in this, with an asterisk next to it. The sound is great, the hits on the enemy is great. Occasionally you'll hear Squidward say some voice lines from the show, like, why is it every time I'm having fun, I'm wrong? Which fits perfectly, but there is a caveat to that. And that is, it seems like some of the voice lines are triggered by picking things up, or shooting, or doing a couple other things that you do a lot. And so those voice lines very quickly become absolutely annoying. Like, I wanted to shut off the sound within 5 minutes, because like when you pick up an item, he goes, thank you, thank you. And when you're picking up 20 or 30 health packs in a row, or little armor shards, like you just hear, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it gets old. It fits the map, but they should have definitely included either some sort of cooldown, like he only uses a voice line every 30 seconds, or maybe like just a random other sound from the show when you pick things up with a chance for a voice line. It very quickly becomes annoying and muddled in there. And honestly, that's my biggest complaint, is as much as I love the sound, some of the sounds get so repetitive and so annoying, it's awful. We're introduced to the imps you see there. The My Leg guy shoots little sound rings as their fireballs. They do occasionally shout, my leg, when you hit them, which is again reference to the show, which is absolutely perfect. Even the signs, you see the hash slinging slasher in there, and you'll see some other signs from the show. They just fit so well. Like, you can see there's so much love and detail put in the environment. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm actually pretty impressed with the difficulty of this one too. I am playing on the easiest difficulty, but it didn't seem overwhelming. If you've watched any of my past Doom map reviews, you'll know that one of my major complaints with modern Doom WODs is that they're just, here's 10,000 enemies locking you in a room and beating you with unfairness. It's the Dark Souls approach of, maybe if you bash your head against the wall for 40 hours, you might make progress. That doesn't seem to be present here. This one really focuses on, it has a story to tell and a vision to tell, and they want to make sure you experience that. The enemies aren't too plentiful, but it also doesn't feel barren. Every time you walk into a room, you feel like you're going to see enemies, the right amount of enemies. These giant guys, I think these are supposed to be pinkies, maybe? I'm not 100% sure on that one, but they're everywhere, but there's not too many. I never found myself like running out of ammo until the very, very end of this run. I always felt like I had the right tools for the job. I felt like there was enough enemies that I wasn't bored, that it wasn't barren, but I wasn't overwhelmed. They did it so perfectly that I have to compliment them on it. The levels are long enough that you get to explore the environment without being too long. That's another problem, right? The first Doom level ever, E1, M1, you can beat in less than 8 seconds, but you can also explore it for about 1 to 2 minutes. So having these levels be 2-3 minutes gives you enough time to explore the level, but also not get bored with it. It has varying environments, which I really like. You get to see a lot of different things. I think it's a really good pacing here. Again, that's something a lot of Doom WODs get wrong, where it's like, here's a 30-minute level. Well, Doom levels aren't meant to be 30 minutes, right? They're meant to be 5 minutes at most, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how you're speedrunning it. So it really gets the heart of, here's a thematic level, gives you a little bit of room to explore on it, but also it's not too long. Move on to the next environment that shakes up with some different enemies or different looks, different things like that. Now here's another minor gripe. In this area, it gets a little dark. It's a little too dark to see in some areas. It's a very minor gripe. Like, you can clearly still see it's just not to my liking, but again, a very minor gripe. You can see here, you step on the button and then it sends you back to the level. It's a very decent Doom puzzle, very decent to how Doom usually does it, where it's like you open one door, then you gotta go backtrack to go grab the key, then you come back and you get through another door. It's very authentic to Doom. I really like that they put in, small bits of story, and again, they hit it very authentic to Doom. There is a story, it's there, you can ignore it if you want to, it's not in your face. You get a cutscene just every now and then that's maybe 5 or 10 seconds that says, here's a little bit of your story, and onwards and upwards. And again, we're trying to be authentic to Doom. Some of these WODs have like these huge opening cutscenes, these huge overarching stories, and I know the modern Doom has kind of pushed towards that with cutscenes and doing a little bit more story, but Doom was never really meant to have a story, right? John Romero famously talked about the story and how it's just not important, and I like that when we're creating authentic Doom WODs, that we're really being authentic to the source. This elevator ride was too long, but it reminds me of playing Doom 64, which is actually getting a lot of talking about, which is really cool to see Doom 64 come back, since, a lot of people maybe missed out on it. And Doom 64 had a lot of like environmental crushes and a lot of slow elevators and things like that. So it's a cool callback to like N64 Doom, which isn't quite classic Doom, but it's also not modern Doom. It's very much in its own unique area. So let's talk about these guns. I haven't even touched on the guns yet. They reskinned all the guns. You have the bubbles as the pistol, and then you have the double bubbler as the chain gun. You have the weenie gun as the shotgun. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the weenie gun. I haven't watched a lot of modern SpongeBob, so that might be a more modern SpongeBob thing. I certainly don't remember a weenie gun in the first 1 or 2 seasons that, I watched as a kid. But it does a very good job at being a shotgun without being a shotgun, and it looks great, it plays great, it feels great. You eventually get the plasma gun is like a bubble trident, so it all seems very on theme. And here's where I pick up the super weenie gun, of course the classic double-barreled shotgun. It fits really well, it looks really good. Interestingly, you can see I have gloves for armor and jelly as my HP, but there's no like classic Doom bar where you see like all your guns, your ammo, and the face of Doom guy. I did play this originally with the Brutal Doom mod enabled, and I actually did get that bar with a face of Squidward that reacted to the environment just like Doom guy does. So I don't know if that was a glitch or hidden, or if that it is in the files. I love having the original Doom guy's face, like that's so iconic, and so seeing them port Squidward into that was absolutely amazing. Again, I don't know why it's not here and why it was only with the Brutal Doom mod. It might have something to do with like field of view or some other things. When you do modding, things get a little bit weird. So I wish I had that more full time, but it was absolutely amazing. Again, here's a little bit of story. They take some panels from the show. I believe the Mr. Krabs is from the show, minus the blood. But the great art, great little quick story, and then you're on to the next level, which introduces more enemies, changes up the environment. Here we see like a different skybox, which is something we see in the classic Doom. Of course, the changing of the backgrounds is how you go to like a different area altogether. So I absolutely love that. I actually love this orange theme. And again, the sound here is absolutely perfect. I can't turn it up. I'm pretty sure most of these sounds are directly from the show. So, you know, I don't want to get copyright struck, but the music fits so perfectly, gives you a fun, tense moment while you're running around the city fighting. They introduce cacao demons in this one. I believe there's some sort of plankton bots. Again, it's probably from a part of the show that I never saw because the later SpongeBob, but they fit very well as the cacao demons. And here's the rocket launcher, which is the Dutchman brand cannon. Again, thematically brilliant. Everything about this wad is wonderful. If you get a chance to play it, you absolutely must. Again, the download was hard to find. In fact, I'm pretty sure I gave my PC a virus just to download this for you, so be careful out there downloading it. It is harder to find. I don't know if they're supporting it anymore. I don't know if they took it down. Certainly, if the creator contacts me and says they don't want this shown anymore, I will take it down as well to, you know, respect their art and respect what they're doing. I don't really know what the case is. It's a little bit older of a mod, so it might just be abandoned. I'm not 100% certain, but do be careful when you go to download it. It is harder to find. If you made it this far in the review, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe and like. It helps everything on the channel so much. I really appreciate y'all watching this series and supporting me. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.